Your entire life has been built on a single, fundamental lie. You've been told a story about who you are, a story that begins and ends with the circumstances you find yourself in. You believe your feelings are a reaction to what happens to you. You believe your opportunities are determined by the economy, your background, what other people decide. You look at your bank account, your relationship status, your job title, and you think, this is my reality. This is what I have to work with. You've been taught to see yourself as a character in a story that someone else is writing. The plot unfolds, and you just have to do your best to react to it, hoping for a happy ending but fearing a tragic one. This is the oldest trap in the world. This story makes you feel powerless because it's designed to. It convinces you that you are a small, fragile thing in a vast, indifferent world. You spend your days navigating a reality that feels solid, separate, and often threatening. You wake up each morning and brace yourself for what the day might throw at you. Will it be a difficult email from your boss? An unexpected bill? A conflict with a loved one? You're constantly on defense. You're taught to fight for your happiness, to struggle for your success, and to protect what little you have from the unpredictable forces outside of you. This is the experience of being a victim of circumstance, and it has become so normal that you don't even question if it's true. But what if the entire premise is wrong? What if the story you've been telling yourself about your life isn't true? Think about the constant pressure you feel, the pressure to keep up, to get ahead, to fix what's broken. You look at others on social media and see their carefully curated lives, and you feel like you are falling behind. You worry about time, about whether you're on the right path, about making the wrong choices. All of this anxiety, this fear, this feeling of being perpetually behind comes from one single, flawed assumption that the world outside of you is the cause, and your life is the effect. It's the belief that you are at the mercy of things you can't control. This is the lie that keeps you powerless. It's not a small misunderstanding. It's a complete inversion of the truth of how reality actually works. It's the root of all your struggles, your anxieties, and your feeling that you are not in control of your own destiny. You have been looking at a reflection and believing it's the source. You've been watching a movie and believing you're just a member of the audience, when in fact, you are the projector. The very foundation of your life has been built on a lie. And the moment you see it for what it is, the entire structure of your powerlessness begins to crumble. We are here to dismantle that lie. Welcome to the Conscious Creator. This is a place for dismantling the illusion of powerlessness. It's for restoring your creative authority over your life. If that resonates with what you are feeling right now, subscribe to this channel. This is about waking up from a dream that has kept you trapped. It's about remembering who and what you are, not as a victim of reality, but as the very consciousness from which reality arises. This journey isn't for everyone. It's for those who are ready to stop reacting to the world and start creating it. It's for those who are tired of being told what is and is not possible for them. The great lie is simple. You are at the mercy of your circumstances. It's the belief that your internal state is a product of the external world. You get the promotion, and you feel happy. You lose your job, and you feel fear. Someone loves you, and you feel worthy. Someone rejects you, and you feel worthless. This cause and effect relationship seems so obvious, so self-evident, that we never think to question it. Our entire society is built on this assumption. It's in our parenting, our education system, our news media, our goals. We are constantly trying to arrange the external world in a way that will finally make us feel okay on the inside. This belief forces you into a life of reaction. You become a firefighter, constantly putting out the fires that flare up in your external world. Your attention is always directed outward. You live in a state of perpetual vigilance because you believe your safety and happiness depend on what happens out there. This is why you feel so exhausted. It's why you feel like you're running a race that has no finish line. You are trying to control an infinite number of variables in a world that you believe is separate from you. It's an impossible task, and it is designed to keep you running forever, always reaching but never arriving. But causality has been inverted. You have been taught to see things completely backward. Your internal state of consciousness is not the effect of your external reality. Your internal state of consciousness is the cause. Reality is not happening to you. Reality is flowing from you. The world you experience is a mirror, a direct reflection of the state of consciousness you hold within. This is not a metaphor. This is not positive thinking. This is the fundamental structure of existence. The world does not create your feelings. Your feelings are the substance that creates your world. This is the switch. This is the truth that has been hidden from you, the key that unlocks the door to your own power. Let's look at how this lie shapes your life, starting with your identity. Who are you? Most people answer with a collection of external facts. A job title, a relationship status, a bank account. You define yourself by the circumstances that appear in your life, stitching them together to create a story you call me. When you build your identity this way, you give those circumstances the power to define your worth. Your sense of self becomes fragile, rising, and falling with external events. You get a new job, you feel secure. You lose that job, you feel like a failure. The truth is, you are not your circumstances. These are temporary conditions, like weather passing through the sky. Your true identity is the consciousness aware of these circumstances, the vast, unchanging space where experiences appear and disappear. Once you build an identity from external things, the next step is comparison. You scroll through social media, and every post becomes a measuring stick for your own perceived lack. This game creates a constant feeling that you are perpetually behind in a race you never signed up for. This leads to the tyranny of timing, the belief there is a right timeline for life. You should be married by a certain age, have your career figured out by 30. This pressure turns your journey into a frantic race against the clock, stealing the joy from the present moment. But there is no universal timeline. There is no behind or ahead. There is only your journey, unfolding in perfect timing for you. Ultimately, the lie traps you in a reactive trance. Believing the world is happening to you, your posture towards life is one of defense. You are a puppet, and the strings are pulled by everything outside of you. In this state, you lose your ability to consciously create. Your energy is consumed by responding to existing circumstances, with none left to generate new ones. You are waiting for the reflection in the mirror to smile first, but it can't. The moment you stop reacting and start generating your state from within, you break the spell. You stop being the firefighter and become the architect. You shift from being a character in the story to being the author. This is the first step out of the prison of powerlessness. If this lie is so fundamental, why does it feel so undeniably true? The answer begins with your senses. Everything in your direct experience tells you that reality is out there, separate from you. You stub your toe on a table, and the pain feels very real. The table certainly seems to exist independently of your awareness. This sensory evidence creates the deepest illusion, the feeling that you are a separate self in here, looking out at a world that is out there. This perceived gap is the foundation of powerlessness. Think of it like a dream. While dreaming, the world feels real and separate. But when you wake up, you realize it was all you. The separation was an illusion. Your waking life is no different. The lie feels true because you are still asleep, believing yourself to be a character instead of the dreamer creating it all. This illusion is constantly reinforced. Our entire culture is an echo chamber built on this lie. From the news to our economic systems, everywhere you look, the idea of an external, causal world is reflected back at you. Even our language is structured around it. We say, "That traffic made me late," or "His comment made me angry." Our very words affirm our own powerlessness, reinforcing the lie that external things create our internal states. Finally, the lie feels true because of a time lag. The connection between your inner state and your outer reality is not always instantaneous. This delay makes it seem like your inner work is ineffective. It's like planting a seed and digging it up the next day to see if it's grown. When you see no progress, you lose faith and give up. The world you experience today is the materialized result of the beliefs you consistently held in the past. It is the harvest of seeds you planted long ago. Understanding this allows you to hold your desired state with faith, knowing you are planting the seeds for a future reality, even if you can't see the sprouts just yet. We have spent this time looking at the lie and why it feels so true. Now, we arrive at the switch, the turning point, the moment where we stop dissecting the illusion and start embodying the truth. Causality is the reverse of what you have been taught. The world does not create your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness creates the world. This is not a metaphor. This isn't about having a positive mindset or just looking on the bright side of things. Your consciousness is the source, and the material world is the effect. Let this sink in for a moment. Your life is not an objective, independent reality you merely pass through. It is a direct, flawless, three-dimensional reflection of your inner state. The people you meet, the situations you encounter, the opportunities, the obstacles, all of it is a materialization of your dominant vibrations. The world is a mirror. It reflects your beliefs, your feelings, your assumptions, your focus. It doesn't judge. It doesn't prefer. It simply shows who you have been being. This is the Great Inversion of power. The power is not out there. It has been in here all along. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the generator of circumstance. There is no one and nothing to blame for your experience. The government, the economy, your parents, your past, none are the ultimate cause. They are part of the reflection your consciousness called forth. This isn't about blame or guilt. It is about the reclamation of power. You don't need a dozen new techniques. You only need to see this one core truth. Tend the garden of your own consciousness. Become more interested in your internal state than external circumstances. Become obsessed with what you are feeling, what you are believing, what you are assuming to be true. This inner world is the creative substance of your life. The world is not happening to you. The world is happening from you. This is the switch that changes everything. To make this clearer, let's use an analogy. Imagine your consciousness is a film projector. The film running through the projector is the collection of your core beliefs, your dominant feelings, the assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. The screen in front of the projector is the three-dimensional space-time reality you experience. The images that appear on that screen, your job, your relationships, your health, your finances, are not separate from the projector. They are a direct projection of whatever film is currently running. They have no power to change themselves. For your entire life, you have been staring at the screen, trying to change the images. You've been running up to the screen, painting over the parts you don't like. You get a new job to cover up the feeling of being a failure. You get into a new relationship to cover up the feeling of being lonely. The projector is still running the same old film. Sooner or later, the old images will re-emerge. You have been trying to change the reflection, not the source. The real work is to ignore the screen for a moment and turn your attention back to the projector. Your only job is to change the film. How do you do that? You do it by consciously choosing the internal state you wish to experience. You stop waiting for the world to give you a reason to feel wealthy, loved, or at peace. You decide to generate those feelings within yourself. You cultivate the feeling state of your wish fulfilled. You walk, talk, and think from the assumption that what you desire is already a reality within your own being. You are changing the film, frame by frame. When you change the film inside the projector, the screen must change. It has no choice. This is a law. The universe does not argue with you. It only reflects you. So when you stop focusing on the evidence of your current reality, and you start consistently running the film of abundance and love, the screen will begin to flicker. People and opportunities that are a vibrational match to your new inner state will begin to show up in your life, seemingly out of nowhere. It's not magic. You simply change the film. And the world, your screen, had to follow suit. Here is another way to understand this. Think of all possible realities as existing simultaneously, right now, like an infinite number of radio stations broadcasting at once. There's a station for poverty and a station for wealth. Every possible version of your life is already here, but you can only experience the one station you are tuned to. The universe isn't deciding which station you get, you are. Your state of being is your tuner. Your physical reality is simply the music that plays on that frequency. If your dominant state is one of worry, lack, and fear, you have tuned your dial to the struggle station. As a result, your life experience will be filled with evidence of struggle. It's not a punishment, it's just the music that plays on that station. Most people try to change their lives by complaining about the music. They yell at the radio, hoping it will change, but they never think to check the dial. You can't hear a happy song while you are tuned to the sad station. You have to be brave enough to reach out and change the frequency first. You have to decide to feel happy, abundant, and loved before the evidence appears in your reality. You have to tune yourself to the station you want to experience. You no longer let your external reality dictate your frequency. Instead, you deliberately choose your frequency, and you let reality rearrange itself to match it. Your job is simply to tune the dial, and then allow the corresponding music to begin to play in your life. A common question arises: what about war, poverty, or trauma? Are people creating these terrible experiences with their own consciousness? The process operates on a much deeper level: collective beliefs, ancestral patterns, and unconscious assumptions. On an individual level, your reality reflects the beliefs you hold. This isn't a punishment, it's a reflection. The purpose is to bring the unconscious belief to the surface so it can be seen and healed. The bad stuff isn't a sentence, it's a messenger. You can't change the world by fighting the reflection. You change it by becoming a living embodiment of the reality you wish to see. The world is not a static thing you are observing, it's a participatory universe. Think of yourself as a sculptor, and the universe as a vast, formless block of clay. Your attention, focus, and feelings act as your hands. When you withdraw your attention from what you don't want and place it firmly on the reality you do want, you starve the old reality and feed the new one. When this shift clicks into place, the first change is the end of reactivity. An external event has no inherent power to create a feeling in you. The feeling comes from the meaning you assign to it. Seeing this breaks the chain of automatic reaction. The world can be chaotic, but it no longer has the power to knock you off your center. Your sense of self also changes. Before, your identity was pieced together from your circumstances. Now, you realize that identifying with your circumstances is like the sun identifying with the shadows it casts. You stop looking outside for who you are and find your identity in the source itself, the silent, aware consciousness within. This brings freedom from comparison. How can you be behind in a race with only one runner? Your life path is incomparable. You're not behind schedule. You are simply in the current scene of your own movie. This is the state of the conscious creator. You are no longer tossed about by the waves of circumstance. You are the stillness of the deep ocean from which all waves arise. Your very presence becomes a quiet, confident demonstration of the truth that sets you free. You can never go back. Once you've seen the lie for what it is, it can never hold the same power over you again. The spell is broken. The lie that you were at the mercy of your circumstances required one thing to survive: your unquestioning belief in it. But now, a light has been turned on. You have seen the inversion. This knowledge, once truly seen, is irreversible. You will be tempted to fall back into reactivity. You might stumble, but it will be different now. A quiet observer within you will know the truth. A gentle inner voice will remind you, this is just a reflection. The power is not out there. It's in here. This isn't about achieving a perfect, uninterrupted state. It's about a fundamental change in your orientation. The war is over. You're no longer fighting a world you believe is against you. You can no longer blame the world for your feelings, because you now know that you're the source of them. The entire foundation of powerlessness has been removed from under you. The chains haven't been broken by force. They've simply dissolved in the light of your own awareness. This is where your new life begins. This is the true meaning of waking up. It's about reclaiming the authority that was always yours. Here at the Conscious Creator, this is our work, this is our journey. It's the ongoing process of dismantling every last vestige of the lie and stepping more fully into the truth of our creative power. If this is the path you choose to walk, subscribe to this channel. Join the community of creators who are waking up alongside you. Your power was never lost, it was only overlooked. It was waiting patiently within you for you to turn your attention inward and recognize it. Now that you have, your only work is to practice living from this truth. Become more interested in how you feel than in what is happening. Choose the feeling of love. Choose the feeling of abundance. Choose the feeling of peace. Choose the feeling of wholeness first, before the world gives you any reason to. You're changing the film in the projector. Have faith in the process. Don't be discouraged by the time lag. Be patient and persistent as you plant new seeds. Trust that a new reality is germinating even before you can see the sprouts. Every moment you choose to feel good, you're building the foundation of your new world. You aren't waiting for a miracle to happen. You are the miracle happening. You are the genesis of your own experience. Remember this, and let it be the anchor for your new reality. Consciousness is the only reality. Everything else is a shadow. The world does not tell you who you are. You tell the world who you are, and it rearranges itself to honor your declaration. The power was not outside of you. It was never in your circumstances. It was never in other people's opinions. It was never in the hands of fate. The power has returned to its source. The power is in you. You're not the character in the story. You're the author. Now, pick up your pen. What story will you write next?